People remember your ugliness longer than your kindness. That's what I learned the night I returned, uninvited, to the wedding of the same family that once called me a stain on their legacy. I stood there in a tailored black suit, hands tucked in my pockets, calm as a graveyard. And still she said it. Why is this defect here? Her voice sliced with the laughter and champagne clinks. My mother-in-law, still sharp, still cruel. And then, like rehearsed cruelty, her daughter, my wife's younger sister, twisted the dagger with a smirk. You weren't invited. Her groom blinked, stunned, then stepped forward, finger raised like a sword. How dare you? This man is... I smiled. You have no idea, do you? Let me rewind. 9 years ago, I was a different man. Awkward, lanky, wearing off-the-rack suits and too much hope. A scholarship kid. The ugly grad from nowhere who married their golden daughter. Celeste, the Harvard-trained cardiac surgeon. Perfection in human form. They didn't celebrate our wedding. They studied me like a virus under a microscope. At every dinner, every gathering, I was invisible at best. Unwelcome always. I still remember my father-in-law whispering to Celeste, marrying below your caste will cost you everything. She said she didn't care. I believed her. God help me, I did. We built a modest life. Quiet. She worked double shifts at the hospital. I built a tech startup from our garage, mostly in silence, mostly in the shadows. While she saved lives, I saved data. The cracks came like hairline fractures in glass. Late-night shifts that didn't end. Phones turned face down. Laughter and text threads that stopped when I walked in. A whiff of cologne that wasn't mine. The red flags weren't waving. They were folded, tucked neatly under, she's just tired. So I did what any man who's been underestimated all his life would do. I watched. I listened. I learned. I cloned her phone. Not out of paranoia, out of precision. Her messages weren't just betrayal. They were strategy. Her family was orchestrating my exit, like a silent boardroom coup. There were texts between her and her father outlining the timeline for divorce after my startup went public. Once they were sure I had millions to lose. There was even a draft prenup, and signed but ready. My name missing from the assets I built. The man she was seeing. A junior doctor her mother handpicked. Looked like a catalog model. That's probably why they approved. It wasn't just personal. It was clinical. I stopped sleeping. I rewrote the code. I locked down the company. I funneled assets. I pulled investor shares into a trust, one she couldn't touch. I hired the best divorce attorney in the state and fed him silence. 6 months later, when she served me papers on our anniversary, I didn't flinch. I nodded, signed, and walked away with a single line, I hope he treats you better. She looked confused. I walked. Fast forward 3 years. The company IPO'd, $700 million. Quietly, anonymously, I took the buyout and disappeared behind shell companies and NDAs. I bought a townhouse in D.C. and started something smaller, leaner, just me and a handful of trusted devs. No Instagram, no interviews, no trace, until the wedding invitation came. Not to me, of course, but to a friend still tethered to that circle of glass and pretense. He forwarded it with a message. You should see this. She's marrying him. The one. I didn't RSVP. I just showed up. The ballroom was everything they worshipped. White orchids, a harpist, silver-rimmed glassware. I walked in at the moment of their highest triumph. Their newest son-in-law had just toasted to a future of prestige and unity. That's when I approached. That's when she saw me. Why is this defect here? You weren't invited. How dare you? This man is... You have no idea, do you? I reached into my coat and pulled out a single white envelope. No logo, just names inside. Printed screenshots. Bank transactions. Old texts from her mother, Celeste. I handed it to the groom, then turned to the mic. I was the ugly grad, yes. But I was also the founder of the company your hospital's now licensed software from. I was the man your daughter married to use, and the man she divorced too late. Gasps. Cameras. A glass dropped. The groom stepped back from the altar like it was on fire. His eyes scanned the documents. His hand shook. I turned to the bride. I hope he treats you better. She looked like a painting cracking from the inside. That night, I didn't stay for cake or chaos. I left before the fallout, before the groom stormed out, before the family name hit tabloids and the medical board opened ethics reviews on the mother and daughter. Justice doesn't need applause. It just needs timing. People remember your ugliness longer than your kindness. But when the smoke clears, all they'll see is who walked away clean. And I did, every step, silently. Ask ChatGPT.